Well, I'm going to park here, and it's kind of early morning. Let's see if I get my camera right. All right, so what we do is oh, I missed my opening. I was hoping to avoid that, but here I am at an important site in Querétaro. Historical cannon blasting of the wall that freed Emperor Maximilian. His loyalists came to Querétaro. Well, he came here from Mexico City to escape capture, and they caught him anyway and put him here in this convent of Santa Cruz. He was later freed, but caught again the next day. I think it was like the next day or 2, 3 days. What was it? It was like super quick. Well, anyway, I am going to walk across town. I'm moving rather quickly because I need to make time. I'm late. Norma invited me for breakfast at her place. It's not uncommon that we have breakfast together someplace in town, a snack at her place, or even coffee, a dessert. But, you know, we both just prefer going someplace and sitting down and letting them feed us. But she's an excellent cook and has a very nice kitchen. So why not? Touch the stone. This is Saturday morning, and so there would be maybe a little less traffic regarding the working class, the office class, but still a considerable amount of traffic. I was surprised coming down here thinking, oh, this will be easy. Well, it wasn't. It was rather a lot of cars. In Querétaro, the cars are not difficult. They can be. They're actually kind of slow and respectful because streets are not freeways. There's no freeway through the city, such as where I come from. There was virtual freeways just every 4 or 5 blocks. I lived near a street that was considered typical, and it was not uncommon to hit 65 or 70 between lights. Of course, that wasn't the speed limit, but that's what people do. And here, traffic is far different because they're not going to do that. There's more traffic lights, there's more people on the streets. They're respectful of each other. That's an interesting kind of part of the Santa Cruz Church. Well, anyway, enough about my traffic experience. Just to say that the additional difference here in Querétaro is the buses. There will be considerable transit bus traffic, and they are kind of an obstacle to fast traffic, but they are such a good thing that no one complains. It's an excellent system. The convent over there is interesting, and it extends off to the right. I won't go that way just now because I want this to be just a video which expresses my my simple walking path from one side of town to the other. Some interesting brickwork here. I park where I park because there's always an opening. Like I had my choice of 12, 15 places there right on the street. I consider it very safe. It's a one-way that comes in from the aqueduct to Santa Cruz Church. If I go into the city, I have some choices with parking buildings, but they're kind of rare, and sometimes it's by prepaid membership anyway. So I don't make the risk because I spend more time driving around the block. I mean, I've been with friends who just drive and drive and drive and drive. Oh, they're sure they're going to find a place. And yeah, we find a place, but you know, who wants to spend 28 minutes driving in traffic just so that you can walk another 10? Why not just park your car where I did and walk for 15? It's much more fun. It takes away all the hassle and the frustration. And I walk anyway, so. You'll notice people dressing for the cold weather. There's an example of somebody dressing for cold weather. I'm actually dressed in my lightest short sleeve shirt. I'm hot right now. This is not cold weather. It's a little chilly in the morning. You might want to sit outside with a coffee. But very soon it's going to be warm. Hot is what I mean by that. We will see at least 80 degrees today, probably 84, 85. I'm just taking a version of my regular route. Both sides of this street include bookstores, antique stores, little cocinas, places to have a gordita or tacos. The one over there that you see in purple is one of my favorites. I used to live in this area just a block immediately to my left. Over this a long block here that runs half a mile without break. So then I had lived over there a couple of months when I first came to the city before my house was ready. I actually prefer the other side of this street. But right now we are in the shade, and that makes a difference. Makes a difference when you're walking a long distance. Isn't that building over there pretty? The white one and the red. Each of those would have been a private home at one time. In case you're wondering, and so that I don't forget, I should explain that I'm using my GoPro action camera attached to a shoulder harness. So it is kind of positioned at just under chest level. I use it on a rare occasion. I use this harness for my motorcycle videos. I use it for the rare time I'm at the pyramids or in the city, in Mexico City. There's one of my favorite little places, little antique stores. He has some truly beautiful artwork. He has a painting there that I want. I told him a couple of weeks ago I would be back, and I forgot. So I gotta go back there. I don't even remember now what it was. Oh dear. Should have taken a picture of it. Here to my right is a one-way street. It's a rare kind of double width street. Oh, I've seen that Mustang a few times. That Mustang is around town a little. And it's dirty today. ¿Me gusta el carro? ¿Ah? 400 pesos. 1000 pesos. 400,000 pesos. Sorry. 72. 72. Oh, okay. Gracias. 73. Well, I was thinking 71 or 72, and after I said that, I realized the front is a 70. Oh, I realized after I said that the front is the 73. They used that body style for those 3 years. Wow, that's a lot of money. He said he'd sell it for a bunch. I'm glad I got to see him. Now, I have seen that car in a variety of places around town. It's usually just perfectly washed and cleaned. There it was a bit dusty, and I don't know if he lives there or what. I never saw the car with an owner or anybody even around it. That's an example of how friendly Mexicans can be. That he would offer that bit of information and wave at me. Actually, I had waved at him first, but so that he would maybe acknowledge me and know why I was looking in that direction so intently. But one of my great annoyances in the United States is when you tell a person, a perfect stranger, you say, "Oh, that's a nice car." They'll shrug. 2, they will giggle. Or 3, they will say thanks, as if, as if they made that car. Normally, when you say, "Hey, that's a pretty car," I always say, "Yeah, I know, isn't it cool?" I mean, if they say that to me, "Wow, I love your car," I say, "I know, it's pretty cool." It's not my creation, it's just a thing. But so Americans are awkward about that. Americans don't know how to. I think we need help giving compliments, and I think we need help accepting them. And what's lacking mostly is the words. And I think in Mexico, there's a culture of manners that I very much appreciate. I try, I'm learning. I've always struggled with it. Oh, little things like when somebody introduces you, or when you leave a party, or when you when you meet a lady and you're supposed to, I don't know, all that stuff. I get kind of caught up in the difficulties of it. But don't let that bother you. I try not to. I know sometimes I probably look a little awkward, like a social geek. I hope it doesn't come across as rude, but very likely does. There was a time when my friend Alejandro and I met up with a gal friend of his, and he later told me he was upset that she didn't greet me properly. So, and I knew her. I had met her, I knew who she was, and she knew me, so I didn't see any great urgency in her or I, doing anything special. The two of them were chatting about something. But he thought it was rude of her to not, I don't know. I told him it doesn't matter. We Americans aren't used to that sort of fancy greeting, fancy mannerisms, social interaction. One of my favorite buildings in this part of town. I think I'm crooked here. Let me straighten this out. This is a fork in the road. You go left or you go right. House ahead of us is important historically. I won't bother you with that now. Our parks are largely blocked off still. I don't know why this one is. The others, none. I can't think of any others that are. I don't know why they leave this. Well, it's a bit more compact. It's very thick in terms of people when they congregate. They sit everywhere. I mean, it's just a lot of fun, but it's in case you're wondering, I am wearing a face mask, and I lift it just long enough to talk because I refuse to talk through a face mask. I know a lot of my video YouTube creators don't seem to care, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not being rebellious, I'm being respectful of my listeners. And there's that wall, that red wall I complain about all the time. I think, why can't we paint that? I mean, there's no need to be pristine, but goodness, everything else here is kind of cleaned up and painted. I could paint that in a day. I mean, jeepers, that's not hard. Here's my favorite hat shop. It goes in quite a ways, and it's just 1,000 hats. Look at this fancy door. Isn't it amazing? Oh, I smell food. Well, yeah, if you're wondering, I'm going to make this one continuous video piece. In many cases, I prefer to break it up. That way I can edit out any bad parts, or I can make it more interesting, I guess. But in this case, no, I am going to do just one piece. Traffic is kind of, well, traffic here is respectful of pedestrians, but in heavier traffic, they will bring out a police officer to manage the cars. You know, it's just safer and better for people if we can move around a bit more freely. And pedestrians don't take advantage of that. They let the cars by. They don't want to. There's no purpose in stepping into traffic unnecessarily. That's too bad that that's not going to be a good picture for him. But tourists sometimes don't understand the best way to take a picture in front of a monument. I get right on the thing. You've seen it. You know, I don't stand there like a statue. Let's go this way. And actually, I'm not a tourist site photographer with me in it kind of person. I have plenty of other pictures of me doing silly stuff. I don't like to dominate a historical site like the Grand Canyon. You're never going to see a picture of a Grand Canyon with me in it or my selfie face. Never, 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 never. Go to the Grand Canyon, take a picture of the Grand Canyon. Do not go to the Grand Canyon and take a picture of your face. Come on, people. Okay. See, there's an example where he was kind of insistent that I go by. And really, sometimes I would prefer to let the car go past rather than hurry across. I'd rather like to saunter across the street rather than hurry. Okay. This is considered a pedestrian street, although some traffic is allowed, and maybe for delivery or a short unloading of a taxi or hotel guest. There are, what, 2 hotels on this street. It's just a large block, one long block. So car traffic is not super strictly controlled, but it's discouraged to the degree that some days you will see absolutely no cars here at all. I don't think it's worth objecting to. It's just sort of a rule, an unspoken rule. But at times I have seen police officers at the other end of this street absolutely forbidding anybody to come in. So I don't know how this works. It's just kind of guesswork. This end of, well, this street is unusual in that right here on the right, you see this old church, which I think is probably one of the ugliest buildings in town. It is a church that's very popular, however, and has mass like all day. But on the other side is the city's most beautiful building, which is the palace of the Marquesa. Now we call it La Casa de la Marquesa, which also is an elegant boutique hotel, and this car right in front shouldn't be here, but okay, I'm gonna grouse about that. That kind of spoils the picturesque, otherwise picturesque part of the city. That might in fact be one reason why parking there is discouraged. And here comes a car that wants to be in there too. Well, okay, Saturday. Maybe rules are different on Saturday. Let's go with that. Let's go with that rule this Saturday. Oh, that reminds me. Lady wearing a sweater here. I forgot to bring Norma's sweater. I was here one night. I don't remember oh, it was just colder than Billy Hell. And I was in a short shirt and no jacket. And so she lent me the big sweater wrap. It's kind of like a little blanket. And it's still at home on my kitchen table. I'm going to deviate here because I don't like walking long distances behind the same people. If you notice, I jump around a lot, and that's part of the reason. so that because I know how I am when I watch a video and there's a person walking in front of the video camera, then I start watching the person instead of the scenery. And you'll also notice that as I'm walking along here, those of you who watch travel videos, I am not part of the scenery. All of my YouTube creator favorite friends put themselves in the camera like 80% of the time. Like right now, they would have their camera out on a stick, pointing back at them, telling you what we're doing. Okay, here we have the da-da-da-da-da-da, and you're only seeing their face. Dang, people. Get the camera off your face, please. I don't care what you're describing. Show us. Honesty. I mean, my vanity is at a high level, but I don't need to have my face in all of my videos. Crazy. Well, I'm almost to Norma's place. I texted her a bit ago to say I would be 20 minutes. I left the car, and I'm walking a little slower than usual. This park normally has just a lot of people, families, kids, dads out here with the little girls and boys and their new bicycles, skateboarding, not so much here maybe. But as the day progresses, there will be people literally on every one of these block benches. Block benches, I don't know what you call it, I guess it's okay. You know, and how to describe it? There might be 2 or 3 guys that are chatting. There might be girlfriends, sisters, grandma, and the kids. Families like this one here. And there's just no rule. I mean, it's everything. Imagine, and there's just a lot of people. Now, what I do notice is a lot of single people. Men, mostly, because women don't tend to maybe go out and sit like guys do, but oh, there's that car. That's got to be Ruben. No, it's not Ruben. Sure looks like Ruben's car. His car is the same color as my last Ford. Some of you know it as Tectonic. Well, anyway, what was I saying? I'm blabbering. Over there in the black doors is one of my favorite little bistros. They make a wonderful sandwich. Oh, I was talking about the park. Well, the park, I don't know. I'm just, it's a sit down and relax kind of culture here. If there's a bench, take it. If there's a sitting place under a tree, it's time for a rest. People do this all the time. Down there is my fountain. Some of you know it as my fountain. And it is, in fact. Okay, I missed my place. So, and I quite enjoy that. I have learned to do it myself. If there's a park bench, a place to sit, I like to watch people, and I always say I don't like to do that, but I do it as a kind of subtle entertainment, sort of a passive thing I do. You just sit there and mindlessly watch people go by. It's like, it's a totally lazy thing to do, and I can't handle it for very long. But but I like it maybe 10 minutes. 10 minutes maximum. And it's handy too if you want to fix your camera, you want to tie your shoes. Just little silly stuff like that. It makes sense to take a few minutes. And not to mention that I also have there's Sergio. There's Sergio. Oh, he turned around. Hola. He is my favorite guy here at one of the Cofane locations. We go here a lot. Across the street is the Convento de las Capuchinas. Kind of famous to me because it has never been restored, and it's quite interesting inside because of its abandoned, run-down nature. Here is our destination. It's called Hotel Baltic, Paulina. And just so that you know how I look today, this is the harness that I wear. The harness that I wear is this and that, and my bag always goes with me. So there we are. Now, the bag I'm carrying today is the one I bought in Florida years. Ago. It's not. It's bigger than the other one I had. Both are the same color. All right. Norma's apartment is there. It would have been the front parlor of this old house when it was built around 1690, they say. And all of these would have been rooms. I know it looks oddly arranged as a house would be, but sometimes these old homes took on the character of the space that was allowed it. To my left here is a very large hotel room. It has both these windows. And then, Norma. Ahí está.
Acá, señor. Mira qué bien. Qué padre.
Well, here we have La Normate. Okay, the requisito hug.
Pasa, pasa, mira, ya tengo.
And there is Gloria. Gloria, ¿cómo estás? ¿Qué haces?
Descansando.
¿Ah?
Descansando.
No, ¿qué haces aquí?
Ah, pues está oliendo juegos. Voy a hacer unas enchiladas, ya preparé la salsa.
Okay, this is salsa.
Sí, salsa verde.
Salsa verde.
Le voy a poner encima de las enchiladas un poquito.
Mientras que tienes café.
Vamos a ponerle café al señor. ¿Me puede servir agüita, por favor? Es más, también para usted.
Okay, bueno.
Para todos, café
voy
para
a esperarme, voy a descansarme aquí.
Claro que sí, señor. Oiga.
Y te molesto luego.
A mí no me molestas. Oiga, señor. ¿Por qué me dice que a las 10 y llega a las 11?
Mexican time.
Lo sé.
She asked me why I said I'd be here at 10 and it's almost 11. Well, I said it's Mexican time. Like she's never late. Oh my God. We have those discussions a lot. A lot. I'm going to just take a minute and finish this video by showing you the office. And I actually spend a lot of time here on that couch. I have a nap there a lot. more than I should confess, but I do. Okay, thank you for following along, and I hope this turns out well. We'll see when I get it home.